Yo, what is up guys? Leoric here. Today I'm going to share my top tips on how you can save a ton of money on games. These are very easy things to follow. I've managed to save quite a lot of money this way. I think about 150 by doing these few steps, and I've got a hell of a lot of games from it. You can do the same. It's very easy. All you got to do is just, first thing, when you see a game on sale on any platform, always do your research on that sale. I've seen a game that says on sale on, say, for example, Steam, but if I do a bit of research in it, I can find it a lot cheaper on G2A. G2A, I've bought a lot of games from that, and there's other things you can also buy games from. G2A, the way it works is you got to buy, I'm not sponsored by G2A. Before I continue, you buy Steam codes from them, and you activate them on Steam. So it'll still be on Steam, but you just buy it from G2A. You're buying codes from G2A. The only thing I suggest when you use G2A is buy the shield. The shield is like an extra, I think, £1 on the price. So make sure you compare the shield price with the game to the Steam price game before you buy. But majority of the times it's cheaper, and it's worth doing the shield. I wouldn't suggest doing it without it, because if anything goes wrong, if the Steam key doesn't work or something like that, you're not protected. That's where I've saved a hell of a lot. I think with G2A alone, I probably saved about 80 quid of it from just using that. I bought a lot of games from that. I remember buying, I bought Division from G2A. I bought Rainbow Siege on G2A, and that was a lot cheaper. On G2A, it was cheaper. It was not cheaper. It was just like maybe extra 2 quid to get the full game than the starter edition on Steam. So that's one thing to look at. Next thing I do constantly, I put myself in this habit of doing this. When I hear about a game coming out in 4 years time, I tend to forget about it straight away, because I don't know what's going to happen with that game. It could get cancelled. It could be completely rubbish in 4 years. It could be 4 years of hype, and the more hype I see behind a game, I tend not to go for it, because a lot of the money is going towards marketing, and when there's a lot of marketing going behind a game, I panic a bit. So I tend to stay away from any adverts with the game, especially if a game has no gameplay. It only has cinematic moments. I will not go near that game, because that look cool. That'd be a cool movie, but I don't think that'll be a cool game until it comes out, until I see a bit more evidence. But I tend to stay away from most of this kind of stuff, unless I can play it, physically play it, or I can play a demo version of it, or I can see someone on Twitch playing it. I will tend to not get this game. That's one way I've saved a lot of money, by not buying games. This works about 90% for me. I do fall for games that I've played in the past, and there's a sequel like Destiny 2. I fell for that. When it said it's coming on PC, I didn't look any adverts into Destiny 2, because I had no interest in getting it, because I thought it was coming on console. But then they had it coming on PC. I fell for that hype train like a ton of bricks. It was good at the start. The first 2 hours was good. After that, I don't think it was worth me spending 40 quid on it. It's stuff like that I have to be careful with. But most of the time, or 90% of the time, I don't fall for this trap. Only one game I fell for this year, and that was Destiny 2. But majority of the times this works. Next thing I do is hype. Anyone that says bandwagon on the hype train or anything like that makes me cringe. Absolutely cringe. Hype trains, hype, anything with a hype that is not out yet, I would ignore it like no one's business. I just can't stand anything that's hyped up. That's a good habit of mine. I think that's from past experience with games that have previously been really hyped up, but what they do is they put my expectations way too high for the game, and I am so angry for buying it, and I regret every decision of it. I hate regret buys when it comes to games, and I think every gamer should hate regret buys. Next thing I do is, when a game comes out, I will not buy that. Well, okay, this is, if you're doing YouTube, don't listen to this part. But when a game comes out, and it's a game I've just heard about, I will not buy it straight away. I'll give it a month or two. Normally a sale will pop up for that in that time. It may not be a big sale, it might be a big sale, but I will not buy that game straight away. A lot of games I don't buy day one because of this. This is probably the best habit you can probably get when it comes to buying anything. Wait. Give it 2 months before you buy that game. You will save yourself a hell of a lot of heartbreak and a hell of a lot of money by doing this. If you buy the game day one and it's terrible, and you don't think it was worth your 40 quid or 50 US or whatever, full price, don't buy a game day one. Buy a game couple months after. If you say there's no game right now out, there's always a game out you can buy. There's always a game. There's so many games. It's just you have to look quite a bit to find it. I've found games that I think I wouldn't like, and I've looked into them. I've actually enjoyed. I've got a couple 40 hours out of the game, and that game might have been like, say, 15 quid. That's what I call saving. The way I kind of calculate my games is strange. I do like £1 an hour, or some people say $1 an hour. Well, each pound you spend should be an hour's gameplay. If I spend 40 quid and I only play the game for 5 hours, that was a bad buy. If I spend 40 quid and I play 80 hours, that was a really good buy. You owe them money. Next tip, I tend to stay away with games with early access sales. Before, this was a really good thing, but recently with games that are continuously staying in early access or still in development, I think the last game I might have bought might have been probably PUBG when I was still in beta, but that was different. I think that was a good buy because that game was only worth 26 quid, 23 quid at the time. I played a hell of a lot of hours in that game. 26 quid. I played the game for 140 hours. Totally worth it. Another tip that you can avoid, and it's very dangerous to fall into, is games that are remakes. There's certain games I will fall for this because I'm a very, very, very big JRPG fan. I only play one JRPG, and that is Final Fantasy games. I've played maybe about 5 of them, and I love the game. That's the thing. There's a game that's coming out I'm really wary about. It's Final Fantasy 7. Probably most of you don't know this game. If you do, boom, FF7 Crew. Those type of games can get you a nostalgia element in it, and they market that towards you. You see loads of trailers for it. It tends to make you want to buy the game more, and that is dangerous because the game hasn't even came out and I was like, oh, when that game comes out day one, I'm going to buy it. That is nostalgia. Just stay away from games that are remakes until you see the full product and until you see a lot of reviews. I watch a few people's reviews before I pick a game. Like Sea of Thieves was one of the games I watched a lot of reviews before it. First reviews that came out, game's brilliant. Week later, game's terrible. So I'm glad I waited for that one. I'm glad I didn't spend 50 quid in that game. It's quite expensive game, but it is on Microsoft. I don't normally buy games from them, but yeah, it is on there. I will wait. If I get Sea of Thieves, I want it to be around the 20. It's not worth, I think, right now more than 25 quid or 50 US. I don't know, 50 US. 30 US. But yeah, that's one way I save a lot of money by not. Yeah, that's one way I save money is by not going for games for nostalgia and not going for games that just came out or early access. This is the last tip, and I've kind of touched on this already, and this is buy old games. Buy games that maybe you haven't played. You're not like 20 years old. Buy games that are maybe like 4 or 5 years old. There's probably a game you missed that you really wanted to play at the time and you didn't really ever go back to playing it because you thought it's too late. Play that game now. There might be a remastered version. It would probably be a little bit more in price, but you can probably play the older version that's been transferred to maybe PC or PS4, Xbox or Nintendo. But just go back to the game you really, really wanted to play. You'll be surprised how many games there are out there. I was surprised. I only discovered this maybe in the last 6 months, but there's so many games I missed that I can go back into and play. On PS4, there was the Injustice 2. I haven't played that yet, and I was always wanted to. It's not that expensive at the minute, but if I bought it a couple when it came out, that would have been 50 quid. It just came out on PC, so I'm not going near that because I think it's overpriced. For a game that's a couple years old. That's one thing as well. But yeah, just go back to older games. There must be a game you missed. There's no way you've played every single game you've wanted to play. If you have a hell of a Steam library. If I've missed any tips that you think are obvious and I shouldn't have put them in, but I'm a big idiot, I might have missed it, please say it. I really want to know because I always look for more ways to save money on games because gaming itself is extremely expensive. With all the expansions, DLCs, everything that includes in a game, day one DLCs. I really want to know what you guys do to save money on games. These are the main things I use. I call these the fundamentals of gaming, but maybe you know something I don't. It'd be great to hear you guys' opinion on it and hopefully make a discussion of it. I hope you guys have enjoyed these tips. If you're new here and you found these helpful, the way you could help me out is just subscribe. That really helps the channel out and I will really appreciate it. My name is Leoric and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Later.